Okay, let's start these offseason previews. Chicago Bulls, their biggest offseason question mark here. And as usual, as we go through these, I raise a few questions here on the offseason. We discuss them. We go from there. The Chicago Bulls, Zach Lavine's free agency, absolutely the biggest question mark. It seems very clear that you just give him a max level deal. His max, I believe, is around 5 years, $210 million. I think it's probably pretty likely he signs for the max. Mm-hmm. I think it's probably pretty likely that there could be some injury, like, insurance maybe on like the back end of that deal. Maybe the last year is like a vesting option of some sort if he plays, 60 games in 3 of the 4 seasons leading up to the last year.
Yeah. No, we're in lockstep on that. There was all that, and I don't know how, I don't cover the Bulls, so I don't know how true it was when people kind of insinuated that Lavine was turned off by everybody kind of insinuating that the Bulls turnaround was because DeRozan came there and that he wasn't going to come back. I think as of late, everybody kind of feels a little more comfortable that he's going to come back. And I think that's just the best case scenario for the Bulls. They have something, while it has a ceiling, something that's good, something that's interesting. It won't improve. I guess maybe unless you did a sign and trade. But obviously Lavine would have to, he's a restricted free agent, right? Or unrestricted?
He is unrestricted.
Unrestricted.
Lavine is unrestricted.
Lavine's, He would, he would have to want to help the Bulls out in that case. So I just don't think there's a better avenue for them. I think that they are a good team. They're fine. Maybe Pat Williams, if he can evolve and develop, adds a different dynamic to the team that will help. I just don't see any other avenue to get better other than keeping Lavine and just seeing if maybe luck can be on your side and you get a few. You're the benefit of a couple other teams going down in the standings or injuries or whatever. I think they're a solid enough team that they'll always hover in that 5 to 6 range.
Yeah, I think they're going to max them, and I think they're going to go chasing in free agency. The biggest next question now is, there have been pretty clear public rumors about Rudy Gobert being a real option for them and being, someone that they're chasing a little bit. If you're them, do you give up Pat Williams and 18 and Kobe White or, things like that for Rudy Gobert?
I would do that if I were Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, does that automatically imply that they would do something with Vooch too? Or are you saying Vooch would still be on the team?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they do with Vooch in this situation.
Even regardless, I would do it because I think defensively, I think we all point to the Bulls like that's where maybe their biggest weakness is. I don't think you're giving up much with 18. I like the idea of Pat Williams, but is Pat Williams somebody I'm going to regret giving up? I don't think so. And the time is now for the Bulls if it's going to happen. So why not? So I'm with you. I think if that would get them Gobert, I would do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that if you could do Pat Williams and 18 for Rudy, I would do that. I think that team becomes a legit contender in the East if you do that. And Zach Lavine is able to stay healthy. You have Lavine, DeRozan, Rudy Gobert at that point. Plus you have all of your interesting, pseudo role players like Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso. You've done very, very well building on the margins. That team
I like AO.
Io is going to be really good. Like they have, I would do a Rudy deal if I was Chicago, and I would be willing to give up Pat Williams. I like Pat Williams a bit. Like I think he's a good starting quality player, and at 18, you're hoping to get a good rotation player. Rudy's one of the 10 best players in the league. He signed long-term, or at least Rudy's one of the 15 best players in the league, let's say. He signed long-term. I know he's on big money, but I think you just make it work at that point.
Yeah, you've already gone down the road of we want to compete now, so you might as well go further down the road.
If you can't do Rudy, it's worth noting Nikola Vucevic is extension eligible. I probably don't extend him at that point, and I probably don't extend Kobe White. I think if I'm the Bulls, I think I'm looking to cash in right now. Like, I think I am looking to cash in with Pat Williams and with Kobe White at the end of the day. Even if it's not Rudy, maybe it's someone else. I think I'm looking to try and get higher up the food chain in the Eastern Conference than where they are now, especially given some of the questions about the Nets moving forward, especially given, you know, Boston seems to be in a good spot. Milwaukee seems to be in a good spot. Miami is getting older. Like, at some point, Kyle Lowry is probably going to fall off a little bit.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler seems eternal, but like at some point you would think he's going to fall off a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm at on them.
Before we leave the Bulls, just because of what we've been talking about, is there a Ayton deal there? Like, if you're the Suns, would you take Vooch and Pat Williams? Is that too much for Ayton? I don't think so.
I mean, I'd be happy to do it if I was them, but if I mean, that requires DeAndre wanting to sign a deal there as well.
Right. That's the thing. Like, if he's down to do it, I mean, that helps Phoenix stay afloat. Like, again, Vooch fills the 5 void, obviously lose a little bit defensively, but Pat Williams as kind of a pseudo 4. Like, I don't know. I kind of like that if that's something that could be mapped out.
I think I would rather do Rudy if I was Chicago than DeAndre, because I just think Rudy's a better player. But
I'm with you.
I get it. I don't think it's a bad idea at all to at least explore that if Rudy is not able to happen with Chicago.
Yeah.